What's up YouTube? Today we are going to look at which weapons you can use to damage tanks in the Battlefield 2042 open beta. We're going to take a deep dive into damage numbers and hitbox locations to figure out what is the best way to destroy a heavy tank. This is a new channel, so I appreciate any support you guys can give, so if you want, please do hit that like, do hit that subscribe, and let's get into it. So I went through and tested various weapons in the beta, and the first thing I wanted to check was if regular bullets did any damage to heavy vehicles. And so what I found is basically what I did was I shot the front of the vehicle, the side of the vehicle, and the rear of the vehicle, and with no attachments there was no damage. So I went ahead and equipped armor piercing rounds, and I shot 10 bullets into the side of the tank. And what I found was the LCMG did about 5 points of damage per 10 bullets. And I tested this again at the front of the vehicle, and it stayed pretty consistent. So with most weapons, the side and the front had the same damage profile. Shooting the rear, however, showed that the rear of the vehicle had a different damage hitbox, and using the LCMG actually did a little bit more damage. So I went ahead and tested a full belt from the LCMG, and I found that the damage output basically was about 0.66 per bullet. So a little bit more damage than hitting the front or the side. I then tested the DM7, equipped the penetrating rounds, shot 10 bullets, starting off with the side of the tank, and I found that shooting the side of the tank did approximately per bullet about 0.8, both to the front and to the side. The rear, as expected, had a little bit more damage, doing about 1.2 per bullet. I also tried out the M44 since it also has the armor penetrating round attachment. I went ahead and shot 10 bullets into the back of the tank, and it did about 2.7 per bullet. Obviously this isn't that viable since it's a slow fire rate gun and it also has limited ammo capacity. Using the M5 rocket launcher obviously gave better results than the other weapons. Shooting the side and shooting the front, the M5 rocket launcher did about 26 points of damage, and shooting the rear actually did 39 points of damage. C5 proved to be the best in terms of damage numbers, with C5 attached to the front of the vehicle doing about 38 points of damage. Same with the side of the vehicle, 38 points of damage, and attaching C5 to the rear of the vehicle did 57 points of damage. I did also try placing C5 in other various locations, such as the underside of the tank. I know in previous battlefields, vehicles had multiple damage locations, and depending on where you hit it, you can do different things to the vehicle. It appears, at least in the beta, that the tanks only have 2 hitbox locations, and that would be the rear of the vehicle and then everything else. I'm not sure if that will change in the future, but for now you only have those 2 options. And last, I tried grenades, and they actually did a decent amount of damage, and they did about 22 points of damage per grenade. One thing I did want to note in Battlefield 2042 is tank recovery is pretty slow. It takes about 12 to 13 seconds before tanks actually start recovering health, and it only recovers health at about 2 hit points per second. So looking at the numbers, if you're hitting the front of the tank with the LCMG, you're doing about 0.5 damage per bullet. With the DM7, you're doing about 0.8, and with the M5 rocket, you do about 26 points of damage, and with C5, you do 38 points of damage. If you hit the side of the vehicle, you're actually going to get exactly the same damage numbers as if you were to hit the front of the vehicle. And moving to the rear, with the LCMG, you're doing about 0.66 damage per bullet. DM7, you're doing about 1.22 damage per bullet. If you hit with the M5 rocket, you're going to do 39 points of damage. And with C5, you're doing 57 points of damage. What's interesting is with the C5, 2 C5s placed on the rear of the vehicle will destroy the vehicle. But if you only place 1 C5 and another C5 on any other part of the vehicle, that's not enough to destroy the vehicle. You would need to use all 3 of your C5s. With that said, a grenade or a couple shots from one of the other weapons with armor-piercing rounds will destroy the vehicle. Also, with the M5 rocket, you will need to hit 2 rear shots in order to destroy the vehicle with 3 shots. If you only hit 1 and you hit anywhere else on the vehicle with the other 2 rockets, you will not blow up the tank. If you found this content useful, please do support the channel. This is a brand new channel. Appreciate any support you can give, so hit that like, hit that subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.